You know, stepping into the modern real estate market, especially when you're looking at new construction, it often feels like sitting down at a high-stakes poker game.
Oh, absolutely.
And like everyone else at the table already knows the cards. You're staring at your hand, looking at your budget, trying to figure out your next move.
Mm.
And across the table is this massive corporate entity, the builder.
And they're holding a hand you can't even see. It is the absolute definition of information asymmetry.
Right, because you're making what is likely the largest financial transaction of your life. It's super personal.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the builder executes this transaction hundreds, maybe thousands of times a year. They have, entire departments dedicated to optimizing their margins. They know exactly how the game is played. They know the statistical probabilities of your choices and, well, the precise levers to pull to get you to sign on the dotted line.
And that dynamic is exactly what we're dismantling today. What if you could actually peek at their cards,
It would change everything.
Right. So we're looking at this brilliant strategy excerpt from a guide called Architecting the Advantage, a guide to builder incentives. Our mission for this deep dive is to extract the most critical knowledge from this guide.
So you, the listener, can decode this incredibly complex world.
Yes, exactly. We want you to be able to level the playing field and understand today's opportunities without feeling like, you're being taken for a ride.
Okay, let's unpack this, because it turns out these incentives are so much more than just flashy weekend marketing campaigns.
They absolutely are. And to really grasp this, we have to shift our perspective right from the start. Builder incentives are not just random acts of generosity.
Right, they're not just being nice.
No, not at all. Or arbitrary discounts thrown at a wall to see what sticks. They are highly calibrated strategic levers that builders pull to manage their business operations, their cash flow, and risk.
Okay, so they're protecting themselves. Precisely. So today, we're going to look at the anatomy of these levers. We'll start by mapping out the financial side, the mechanisms that actually alter your mortgage and your cash to close.
The big stuff.
Right. From there, we'll explore the tangible physical upgrades, dig into the volatile market variables that dictate why these offers just, vanish overnight.
Oh, I hate that.
And finally, we'll equip you with the strategic framework you need to navigate this landscape like an insider.
I think we need to start with the ones that make the biggest, most immediate impact on a buyer's wallet, the financial heavyweights.
The cash.
Yeah. When you're sitting at the closing table, nothing matters more than the actual dollars and cents leaving your bank account. There are two major financial structures at play here, right? Closing cost assistance and interest rate promotions.
Let's define the mechanics of those clearly, because honestly, the industry jargon alone can be a massive barrier.
It's like a different language.
It really is. So closing cost assistance is essentially liquidity preservation for the buyer.
Meaning keeping cash in your pocket.
Exactly. When you buy a house, your down payment is just the beginning. You have title insurance, appraisal fees, loan origination charges, prepaid property taxes.
Escrow setups, yeah.
Right. And this can easily balloon into tens of thousands of dollars in pure out-of-pocket cash. When a builder pulls the closing cost lever, they are closing you a specific dollar amount to absorb those administrative fees.
Which is a lifeline, when you consider the reality of moving. You still have to buy furniture, hire movers, maybe buy lawn equipment.
Right, you need that money.
Keeping that cash liquid is huge.
The cash is vital, certainly. However, the interest rate promotion is frequently the far more powerful lever over the lifespan of homeownership.
Okay, how so?
Well, a builder might offer to buy down your interest rate. Imagine the going macroeconomic market rate for a 30-year mortgage is hovering around, say, 7%.
Okay, pretty standard right now.
The builder steps in and offers you a rate of 5.5%. Yeah, and they don't do this by magic. They achieve it by paying a substantial lump sum to the lender upfront on your behalf to permanently buy down that rate.
So they're essentially subsidizing the cost of borrowing the money.
Yes, exactly.
But wait, why go through all that complicated financial gymnastics? Like, if a builder wants to make a $500,000 home more affordable, why not just drop the sticker price of the house by $20,000?
What's fascinating here is how fiercely builders protect their base prices. It all comes down to neighborhood appraisals.
Appraisals.
Right. If a builder drops the base price of lot number 12 to get a buyer in the door, well, they've just set a new, lower comparable sale for the entire neighborhood.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so when it comes time to sell lot number 13, the bank appraiser is going to look at what lot 12 sold for. If the price dropped, the overall valuation of the community spirals downward.
So they're hurting their future sales.
Exactly. By keeping the sticker price high, but subsidizing the interest rate on the back end, the builder protects the perceived property values of the entire development.
While still making the monthly payment affordable for the buyer. Okay, I track the logic there, but this is exactly where my alarm bells always start ringing.
Okay, why is that?
Whenever I hear about these massive financial perks, tens of thousands in rate buy-downs or closing cost credits, there is invariably a catch.
There usually is a condition, yes.
Right. To get these perks, you almost always have to use the builder's preferred lender. Isn't that fundamentally a trap? I mean, is it like a car dealership forcing you to use their in-house financing just so you can get the cashback rebate?
It's a common fear.
It feels like an illusion where they just, claw the money back on the back end through bloated origination fees.
It is a completely natural reaction to view it with suspicion. But the underlying mechanics of why preferred lenders exist are actually rooted in operational logistics, not just hidden profit margins.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We have to look at this strictly from a risk management standpoint to see why builders mandate this structure. It's a mechanism for pipeline control.
Pipeline control for the builder's benefit, presumably.
Exclusively for their benefit. Consider a builder constructing 50 homes simultaneously. Their absolute biggest enemy is a delayed closing.
Because it sits empty.
Exactly. Every single day, a finished home sits empty because an outside third-party lender dropped the ball on underwriting paperwork. The builder's bleeding money.
Oh, wow.
They're paying daily interest on the massive construction loans they took out to build the neighborhood. They're paying taxes, insurance, utilities. By incentivizing you to use their preferred lender, the builder is essentially buying predictability.
I see. Because the preferred lender works exclusively with them, they know the communication channels are seamless.
Precisely. They know this specific lender understands the nuances of new construction timelines, which, are very different from buying an existing home.
Right, there's so many moving parts.
And they know the closing will likely happen on the exact Tuesday it was scheduled. Furthermore, because that preferred lender is processing a massive volume of loans for that specific builder, they can pool the financial risk.
What does that mean for the rates?
It means they can secure bulk rate locks on the secondary mortgage market that a local credit union simply cannot match on a single isolated loan.
Okay, that makes the car dealership analogy fall apart a bit. They aren't just trapping you for extra fees. They are paying for the certainty that their multi-million-dollar operation doesn't grind to a halt because a local bank lost a tax form.
Exactly. It's a calculated business transaction. They offer you the incentive as a reward for helping them maintain a predictable, streamlined operational pipeline.
That actually makes sense.
Now, as a buyer, you must still be vigilant. You have to look at the official loan estimate, scrutinize the origination fees, compare it to an outside lender, and make sure the mathematical reality benefits you.
Right, you still have to do the math.
Absolutely. But understanding why the preferred lender requirement exists removes the emotional suspicion. It's simply about controlling the construction to closing timeline.
Okay, let's pivot from the financial side for a moment. Say the macroeconomic interest rates are already sitting at historical lows, or perhaps the builder in a highly desirable neighborhood just refuses to pull those financial levers.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, so if they aren't throwing cash at your closing costs, how else do they sweeten the deal to get a contract signed? I assume this brings us to the physical house itself.
It does. This introduces the tangible, perks the elements of the home you interact with daily. We are primarily looking at two categories here, design center incentives and appliance packages.
Oh, the design center. That is arguably the most dangerous room in the world for a home buyer's budget.
It is a masterclass in temptation.
Truly.
You walk in and you're surrounded by premium quartz, waterfall countertops, wide plank engineered hardwood flooring, custom matte black lighting fixtures.
And suddenly you want it all.
Exactly. Very quickly, the base price of the home can inflate by 20 or 30% if a buyer gets swept up in the aesthetics.
See, I hear design center incentive, and it just sounds like monopoly money. How does a builder afford to just hand over a $20,000 allowance for upgrades without losing their shirt?
Because $20,000 of perceived value at the design center does not cost the builder $20,000.
Ah, wholesale pricing.
Right. Builders operate on massive economies of scale. They are buying that engineered hardwood by the shipping container, not by the square foot.
That makes a huge difference.
It does. So when they offer you a substantial design credit, they're providing you with a high perceived retail value, but their actual hard cost is significantly lower.
So everybody wins, kind of.
Sort of. It makes the home feel incredibly premium and custom for the buyer, without the buyer having to finance those upgrades out of pocket. And it's a relatively cheap lever for the builder to pull compared to a massive rate buy-down.
That is a brilliant way to look at it. But I noticed something crucial about when these tangible perks, the design credits, the included smart refrigerators, the high-end washer and dryer sets are typically offered.
Yes, the timing.
Right. The
Yep.
focus always seems to be on inventory homes. And this made me think, buying an inventory home is basically like buying the fully loaded floor model at a furniture store.
That's a great comparison.
It's already built, it's sitting there on the lot, you can't pick the cabinet colors anymore, and the store just wants it off their floor. Is that why the aggressive limited time opportunities pop up on these specific houses?
If we connect this to the bigger picture of carrying costs, your floor model analogy perfectly illustrates the builder's vulnerability.
Okay, how so?
Well, in the industry, these are called spec homes, built on speculation. The builder initiated construction without a secured buyer, relying on their market research to guess what finishes a future buyer might want.
So they roll the dice hoping someone will walk in and fall in love with the exact shade of gray flooring they chose.
Precisely. And when that home reaches completion, if it does not have a contracted buyer, it immediately transforms from an asset into a significant liability.
Because of the carrying costs again.
Exactly. The builder has hundreds of thousands of dollars of capital trapped in that single structure. As we discussed with the preferred lenders, the carrying costs kick in aggressively. Every single day that finished inventory home sits vacant, the profit margin evaporates.
The pressure mounts by the hour.
It becomes a mathematical emergency.
Yeah.
This is the exact mechanism behind those massive, sudden, limited-time builder promotions you see plastered on billboards.
So that's why they suddenly throw in a free fridge.
Right. They will suddenly include luxury appliance packages, heavily discount the premium upgrades already installed in the spec home, or offer massive closing cost credits. But the absolute key to these offers is speed.
Speed? They want it done now.
The builder will stipulate that you only get these perks if you can close the transaction in 30 days. The incentive is a financial tourniquet to stop the bleeding of carrying costs. It frees up their locked capital so they can purchase more land and to continue their development cycle.
Which is an incredible opportunity for you, the buyer, provided you are, flexible on your design preferences and have your finances organized to move rapidly.
Absolutely.
But this brings up a huge point of friction. If these limited time promos are so effective for moving inventory homes, why is the landscape so erratic? Like, if you see a massive design center promotion on a builder's website today, can you just assume that same offer will be waiting for you next month when your current lease is finally up?
You absolutely cannot. The guiding principle here is strict, never promise incentives.
Never.
Never. Incentives are a highly volatile landscape. They're a constantly moving target that shifts based on three intersecting variables: the specific builder's corporate strategy, the life cycle status of the individual community, and the broader macroeconomic conditions.
Okay, let's dissect those variables. Start with the community life cycle. Mechanically, why does it matter if a neighborhood is hosting its grand opening versus selling its final few lots?
It comes down to the builder's primary motivation at those specific snapshots in time.
Okay.
During a grand opening phase, the builder's goal is to establish momentum and set a high baseline for property values. They might offer modest introductory base pricing to get the first few pioneers to sign, but they rarely deploy massive financial incentives.
Right, because of the appraisals we talked about.
Yes, they need those first few homes to appraise at full market value to set the financial foundation for the next 200 homes they plan to build.
Because if they give away the farm on house number 1, the bank appraiser is going to ruin their profit margins for the rest of the decade.
Exactly the issue. But fast forward 3 years. The community is in its closeout phase.
Back wrapping things up.
Right. There are only 4 lots left out of 200. The builder have their heavy machinery packed up. The sales staff is eager to transition to a brand new project across town. But corporate cannot fully close the books on this development until those final 4 homes are sold.
The opportunity cost of keeping a fully staffed model home open just for 4 lots has to be terrible.
It is highly inefficient. That specific pain point is what triggers a sudden surge in closing cost assistance or included design center perks. The incentives are deployed surgically to solve that specific problem.
That makes total sense.
Now, layer macroeconomic conditions on top of that. Imagine the Federal Reserve hints at an interest rate hike, and national mortgage rates suddenly spike by a full percent.
Panic sets in.
Pure panic for the builder. Because suddenly, a significant portion of the buyers they have under contract buyers who are waiting for their homes to be built can no longer qualify for their loans because their debt-to-income ratios just failed.
Oh no, so the pipeline is collapsing.
Exactly. To save their entire pipeline from collapsing, builders across the board will suddenly release massive rate buy-down promotions to artificially lower the rates and keep those buyers in the market.
And if rates drop?
Conversely, if national rates drop naturally, those buy-down incentives will vanish overnight because the builder no longer needs to subsidize the market to stimulate demand.
This raises an important question. How do you keep track of all this? We're talking about fluctuating carrying costs, neighborhood life cycles, and Federal Reserve impacts.
That's a lot.
As a buyer, the promotion you saw on a Tuesday might be fundamentally unviable by Friday. If the incentives are designed to solve the builder's shifting problems, how is a normal person supposed to navigate this without suffering from severe information overload?
It is nearly impossible for an individual buyer to track efficiently while working a full-time job.
I would think so.
This is where the strategy shifts. You don't have to become a macroeconomic real estate expert if you know how to partner with one.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because instead of just leaving you paralyzed by the complexity, we need a practical solution. How do you evaluate these moving targets without just accepting whatever glossy brochure is handed to you by the friendly sales rep in the model home?
The key is understanding the distinction between a builder sales representative and an independent advocate, like a new home specialist with an organization such as New Home University.
Okay, what's the difference?
When you walk into a builder's gorgeous model home, the representative sitting at the desk is undoubtedly knowledgeable and helpful, but they are an employee of that specific builder. Their fiduciary duty, their corporate mandate, is to sell you one of their homes.
They are never going to pull you aside and whisper that the competing builder 2 streets over has a vastly superior appliance package and a lower interest rate.
Never. A new home specialist acts as an independent guide across the entire landscape of builders. Their role is to help buyers decode the complex jargon, maintain a purely educational, zero-pressure environment, and, crucial to our discussion today, help you compare competing opportunities apples to apples.
Man, let's talk about how incredibly difficult that apples-to-apples comparison actually is. This is where buyers experience true mathematical fatigue.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine you're staring at a spreadsheet on a Tuesday night. Builder A's house is priced at $500,000. They're offering $10,000 in closing costs, but you have to bring your own lender at a 7% interest rate.
Let's go checking that.
Meanwhile, Builder B's house is priced higher at $520,000, but they're throwing in a massive rate buy-down to 5.5% plus a luxury appliance package. But wait, Builder B's specific lot has a $15,000 premium because it backs up to a retention pond.
It's a nightmare to calculate.
How do you even begin to normalize those numbers to figure out who is actually offering the better deal over the next 10 years?
That scenario is exactly what paralyzes buyers. You are comparing varying base prices, arbitrary lot premiums, long-term amortization curves of different interest rates, and the depreciating value of physical appliances.
My head hurts just thinking about it.
The specialist steps in to synthesize that mathematical fatigue. They run the amortization schedules. They evaluate the true cost of the lot premiums against the monthly savings of the rate buy-down.
So they do the math.
Exactly. More importantly, they verify the current incentives in real time. Because, as we establish, the cardinal rule is verification. They ensure you aren't agonizing over a spreadsheet based on a promotion that actually expired last week.
So they're essentially sitting on your side of the poker table, translating the builder's hand, and doing the math so you can see the actual odds.
That is the perfect conceptualization. They empower the buyer to understand the why behind a builder's offer.
Yeah.
When you know a builder's offering a package, simply because they are in community closeout and desperate to move their last 3 spec homes, you can make a strategic, confident decision rather than an emotional, pressured one.
So what does this all mean for you? If you are listening to this and realizing that buying new construction is significantly less about picking out the perfect cabinet hardware and significantly more about navigating a highly dynamic financial ecosystem, You need an actionable strategy.
You need to play
You
out.
need an advocate. Our source material actually provides a clear pathway for this. The philosophy is about taking control of the process, and you can explore this at newhomeuniversity.com.
A great resource.
The value there is connecting with a new home specialist who can actually perform those exhausting apples-to-apples translations for you through a complimentary consultation.
Engaging with an independent resource before you start physically touring model homes and getting swept up in the polished sales pitches is one of the most effective ways to protect your capital.
It's about utilizing tools like their Smart New Home Buyer's Guide to anchor yourself in education before you step onto the battlefield. Because the ultimate goal and the specific guiding mantra driving this entire framework is simple but powerful. Learn smart, buy smart, move forward with confidence.
Confidence is the ultimate currency here. And I want to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought to ponder, something that builds on the mechanics we've unpacked today.
Okay, let's hear it.
We established that builder incentives are fundamentally designed to solve the builder's problems, whether that is stopping the financial bleed of carrying costs or offsetting macroeconomic interest rate spikes to save their pipeline. So, how might you flip the script?
Oh, I like that.
If you understand how to read the landscape, how could you proactively analyze your local market conditions to perfectly time your purchase with a builder's moment of absolute highest motivation? Because the player who knows precisely when the dealer is most desperate to fold is the one who walks away from the table with the biggest advantage.
Now that is how you play the game. Thanks for diving deep with us today.